What's up, YouTube? I'm back here for part 2 of this oscilloscope video. It's a new day, I got new clothes, I got new coffee, it's time to get rolling. So in the last video, we went over a lot of brainstorming stuff about what the oscilloscope needed to get it functioning properly. I also designed this all-pass circuit for the phase shift, and that is sitting underneath these op amps in my coffee here. So, I think today we're going to go ahead and build that, test it, and then we're going to run some tests on the oscilloscope and see how far we get. So, let's get into it. Okay, so I feel like I'm losing my mind. So I spent the last couple hours building this circuit, testing this circuit, being like, what the hell? And then testing different things, like different components and different values of components and different types of components to see if it made it any better, and guess what? It didn't. Well, sort of. I guess I kind of learned a lot there. But then I was like, hey, no, it's fine. I just remembered. I'm a student. I have access to this wonderful software called Circuit Wizard where I can go and prototype my circuit and do all sorts of sweeps and stuff and figure it out with a computer telling me, yes, this is right? So I was just gonna go see if I was dumb. But the issue is the school that I go to decided to wipe Circuit Wizard off the face of the earth. They said, no, you don't get it anymore. Fuck you. And so instead, I downloaded Eagle, and I had to teach myself how to use Eagle a little bit, which isn't too hard. It's kind of like DipTrace, and I like DipTrace, so I kind of like Eagle. Kind of cool. Anyway, tell me why they lied to me. They said it would be equal amplitude across all frequencies, unity gain across all frequencies for an all-pass filter. And then I was a little bit mistaken. I thought that it would also be an even phase shift for all frequencies, but apparently what it actually means is a net phase shift across all frequencies of whatever your desired phase shift is, and the quadrature, where like the actual phase shift is 90 degrees, only happens at the frequency that you set it, right? So I had normalized this circuit for 1 kilohertz, 90 degrees phase shift. I didn't get that. So let me show you what happened. So in the real world, I got fed up with this 1 kilohertz thing, and I changed the capacitor values because it seemed to make the phase relationship more even across the spectrum. Anyway, I ended up going with capacitors that were 0.001 microfarad, or just like 1 picofarad. Oh no, 1 nanofarad, instead of my 0.01 microfarads. And yeah, like I said, it seemed to make the frequency, or like the phase shift, more even across the spectrum. Now, here's some issues that I ran into. Actually, why don't you come over here? I got to show you stuff in person. Okay, so here's Eagle, and here's the circuit that I have over here, and I have it set up in Eagle, which can do simulations. So when I do my simulation and I go to the plot, this is what I get for this normalized value for the capacitor value of 0.001 microfarad, right? So what this is showing in this yellow line here is amplitude, and then what it's showing in this purple line right here is phase. And what that means is that this phase is basically at 0 for the majority, and then right when it gets to this this kind of center frequency here, that's when it hits around 180, right around there, and then it just goes off into oblivion. And then this yellow line, what it's showing is that I have like negative 8.825 dBV, and then up at the center frequency here, it's up at negative 1.818 dBV. So I don't know. That's huge. It's a giant leap. Anyway, this plot doesn't show me a whole lot of things that I consider useful, other than the fact that it works in a similar way to what happened in the real world. So this is what happened in the real world. So over here is my phase in yellow, and then my frequency response in purple. And so you can see the phase response is down here chilling at like -90, and I'm loving that. And then it kind of starts to waver off around 1K. But here's the kicker, is around 10K is my center frequency. And then I have this beautiful slope roll off thing, I think right there. It's like my 3 dB down point. And then the rest of this is just a first order low pass filter. And I'm thinking, like, is this just the way that it is and people just lied? Like, is this just the way that all pass filters work and then people just lied? Like, is this just the way that all pass filters work and people just lied? I don't know. So, trying to figure that one out. Trying to figure it out pretty hard.
One eternity later.
Yes, it has been 2 months. But that's okay, because I learned a lot in those 2 months, and I think that it just helped to take a little time to really think this project through, because there's a lot of little nuances. So I've learned some things in those 2 months. Basically what happened is, after I kind of had the meltdown with the all pass filters, I was just like at a loss, and so I went online and I did a bunch of research, and I happened to come across this wonderful website called Group DIY, and I posted this thread and a bunch of people got back to me. Basically, what they told me is that, number one, all pass filters actually do work and that they are a thing. I posted my circuit, but nobody got back to me about whether or not my circuit was actually an all pass filter, which it is. But they said that in order to do what I wanted to do, I would have to have a slightly different circuit, and it would be a lot more complex with a lot more stages, and that was fine. But one day I was messing around in Ozone, looking at the imager, which has a litigious display, which is essentially the same thing as what I want to do up here. And when you look at that, it shows you, when you sum to mono, a straight line, right? And if I were to send 2 sine waves of equal amplitude and equal frequency in to both channels simultaneously, I would get the same straight line. It would just be diagonal, right? As opposed to a circle, which is what I thought that I wanted. But actually that's not what I wanted at all, because that would mean that everything that is mono compatible would then look like a circle. And I don't want that. So to check mono compatibility, this thing is already kind of set up to do that. So all pass filters aren't an issue, and I'm just like so happy about that, because they just weren't. It just wasn't working, and and I didn't want to have to redesign basically a Hilbert transform inside of an analog circuit. So beyond that, I went ahead and I purchased some ICs from my local electronics supply store, and I got some TLO72s and TLO74s and TLO84s. I'll use the TLO82 or 84s. Since it's 4 op amps in a single package, I can just use one, and I can use one of the op amps for the scaling of the x-axis, and the other op amps for 2 of the other op amps for the scaling of both channels. So I think the first thing now to do is to go ahead and, get this on a breadboard, get one of those on a breadboard, and design some circuits, hook it up to the TV, and just grab potentiometers until a circle looks like a circle. Okay, so the time has finally come. I have this set up here. If I go ahead and take out the deflection coils, you can see on the oscilloscope back there that I'm getting gain. This amplifier is set up for a gain of 6, So I'm gonna connect those up. So let's turn it on. And there we have our dot. So what I've gone ahead and done is designed this circuit here, which is the dual amplifier for both channels. So basically, if I turn it up, we should be able to tell whether or not it's going to be the right size for the screen. Now, this is still offset. That's still offset, and I have capacitors on the output here. So something else is causing that dot to do that, and I think that I'm gonna have to just figure that out with some research. But without any further ado, here we go. Okay, it's looking good. Oh, nice. Is that that's about as high as I can get. So what I'm sending in here right now is line level, plus 4 dBu coming out of my waveform generator. I just want to make sure of that actually. Go poking around in here. Oh, no, I was not. There's one, and that's about line level right there. Okay, so this is why we do testing, folks, because that is not enough gain. So, okay, cool. Well then, I need to address that, and I will be right back. Okay, so now both of these amplifiers have a fixed gain of 10 with a variable up to 15. Here we go. This is fixed gain of 10. Alright, it's looking a little funky. I wonder what's causing that. Phase differential. Oh, you know what I bet it is? Does it look like it's clipping at the top? Is that what it's doing? Here? Okay. I'm changing the phase relationship of the RC filter at the output of both of these. Oh god. So, am I gonna have no output capacitors? Let's try it out. Oh god. Let's see. Interesting. What the hell is going on? Interesting. What is going on? That should tell me something. That should tell me what's going on, basically. Oh no. I want to try some larger value capacitors here. These are 4.7s, those are 4.7s. I'm going to go ahead and switch out the capacitors for probably 10 micro, and then I'll be right back. Okay, got the 10 micros in there. Let's check it out. That is so strange. And now, okay, yeah, it looks like I'm just gonna have to do fixed gain from here on out because, yeah, that is so strange. That is so strange. What is that showing? What is that showing? What is that showing? I don't quite get it. All right. It's better than it was. I'm going for larger. Heyo, so blue is the Y channel. Okay, did that make it worse? That made it worse. I need smaller value capacitors. Why don't I try 1 microfarad? Okay, now we're seeing some things. Some weirdness. Okay. Well, shit. What do I do? I'm gonna try not electrolytics. Alright, so now I have these guys in there, which are the largest of these polypropylene caps that I have. And they are 0.56 microfarad. What the hell? What the hell is going on? Oh, I'm so confused now. There's something going on with this. This has something that I don't know about, which is what I was afraid of. There's some load there that I'm not accounting for or something. I'm just gonna go back to the 47s or the 4.7s and see if that changes everything back to normal. What normal was. Okay, I'm back to this thing, which is really, really strange. Look at that move. Oh, look at that moves. This isn't telling me a whole lot. This isn't telling me a whole lot. I mean, this is telling me a whole lot. It's telling me like a whole lot, but it's not telling me a whole lot. You know what I mean? Okay. Size-wise, that's pretty good. You know what I'm gonna do? Joopity-doo. Now we're gonna go ahead and move this guy to right. There. Move that guy. That doesn't look good. Hey. That's getting better. That's kind of close. Hey, look at that. Okay. That's better-ish. Dude, this better. I mean, for sure. I need to do some research about why it's like offset here and a little bit high. I don't know what that could be. Wait a minute. What are those for? Height? What? Carefully now. Grabbing me a screwdriver. Oh, where's my screwdriver? Gonna do this with a metal screwdriver. High voltage arcs can't go through sweatshirts. Everybody knows that. That makes everything harder to do. If I die, I die. Okay, it's just like focusing it. You know, I don't know. I really don't know. So, but when I do this, it gives me weird shapes. Why? Why the shapes? Triangle. Interesting. Square. Let's go back to sine. Let's change the frequency. So this is 100 hertz. It's 10 hertz. And that's got to be due to the capacitors. That's 1 hertz. Interesting. Very interesting. Why? Why is it doing that? Okay, weird. So I'm seeing channel 2 on the oscilloscope, which means that they're not loading the same, which means that's not... something's not right. I don't know. Let's go to 1K. There's 1K. Okay. We can give it a sweep. Going up. And as fast as it can go. I'm just going up. Okay. So, I don't know, really. I think my next move is just gonna be, honestly, because it didn't do this. Like, it didn't used to do this. It's either something here or something. It's something, that's for sure. So I'm gonna send some actual audio into here that I know is like a certain thing. Like I'll send like something, like one of those Jerobeam Fenderson videos. I'm gonna send that in and, you know, hope for the best. Okay, y'all. So I have some news. Bad news. Not necessarily surprising news at all, but the circuit that I built does weird things, and it doesn't do what I wanted. I didn't even realize. Hey, check that out. Hey, you can see my voice on the oscilloscope. It's pretty cool. So, what I figured out is that something in my circuit is wrong. Because every time I plug it in, I get this really high frequency oscillation that's happening, and I shouldn't be able to hear it through anything because all my speakers are down, my headphones are down, all that is down over there. So I shouldn't be able to hear anything, but somehow it's getting all the way into my speakers and it's amplifying it. I think the headroom on the amplifier just isn't enough. On this op amp right now, I have a maximum headroom of like 30 volts peak to peak, and it's still, God, it's just so weird. It's just really weird because it's like, it looks like it's like clipping or distorting or something, and I think that that's what that square was showing, was that it was distorting in some way. And the phase relationship is strange, so I decided, you know, I'm just gonna try to put the jacks directly in there and see, you know, how does the volume control on my computer do. So here's some audio. This is circles, just circles, and it looks pretty good. Obviously you can see my voice modulating the circles, but I mean, that's what it looks like normally. Kind of a comparison here. So you can see that the issue is still there with the scaling thing. However, you know, I can turn it up further and then it's going to clip to the side. Yeah, so I can see it clipping pretty hard. So if I turn that back down, it's just giving me way better results. But things are still funky. It seems like it's going to take a little bit of time to figure this out. So, I'm going to take some time and brainstorm and figure this out. And like I said, like, I don't totally know, like, I don't know the load. I don't know what this thing's driving. I just don't. There's so many unknowns. There's so many unknowns. That might be it for this video. Next video might be troubleshooting stuff, figuring things out. I was hoping to have the next video just be like the build and putting it all together into its housing and stuff, but it looks like I'm running into more issues than I thought. So, here's some more circles.